chaser with a sheen dinner.
Wow, this is freaking out.
Live from the new kingdom. No, it's the OBDM1355 podcast.
We made this one.
Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe, and Rich.
That sounded really good.
I guess we're still fixing some audio issues. You know, this is what happens when you shut the show down for a couple weeks and you come back and things are bonkers and everything. But hey, everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. My name is Midnight Mike. Cretchard is over there on screen, yes.
I hate this place.
Yeah, but nobody's here to see me. They want to see that other guy.
I've been here for 7 years.
And Joe is over there on the show, too.
Go back to work.
How does this work? Did I miss anything?
You missed a few events. I'm sure we'll talk about all those events. I mean, since we shut the show down, apparently, you know, Minnesota is just the nexus of all civil unrest and change in this world. So we'll be talking about that. I'm sure you probably have a lot of topics you want to get to, Joe. You haven't been on the show in quite a while.
It's all the craziest stuff is going on right now, too. It's so wild. It's unfortunate. I was like, I would have so much to say about this.
It's insane. I was on vacation. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us. I was out in Portugal for about a week and a half, and I had a good time. And I realized that I love baked goods. I love croissants. I love pizza everywhere I go, and it was fun. But I was ready to come back and to dive into the news again, because I did try to not pay attention to the news as much. But it's tough, you know, because I would still go on Twitter. I'd go on my my Twitter rampages like once or twice. And I'd figure I'd see glimpses of what was going on, and I was like, "Oh boy, what's going on?" And I just didn't know.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on here? And there's a lot of stuff going on. And if it's not some kind of Somali daycare scandal, by the way, Joe, I think we're a little late on starting the Somali daycare at this point. So no get-rich-quick scheme there. And then the ICE shooting, and now new protests. It does feel remarkably like George Floyd 2.0 to a certain degree. And there's a lot of hypocrisy. People on both sides are going bonkers. And I don't know, have you had time to think about this? I mean, maybe I could bring up some news. We can comment on the news as I bring it up, because there's a lot to kind of parse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for whatever. I mean, I feel like just run the show as normal, because we'll probably have plenty to say.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot.
People need to know where you went and all the gritty details there.
I don't think they really care that much. I mean, I was in Lisbon, Portugal. I honestly, I don't think people really care that much about where I was and what I was doing. I'll give you here's a 30-second rundown.
Well, wait, hold on, Mike. I do have a question, because I'm curious. What was your reaction, or what was the reaction you were seeing there in Europe during the Venezuela thing? Because all the responses we got here about that was Europe was very muted, because clearly they were on board.
I did not sense anything. No one brought it up to me overtly. People did recognize me as some sort of American for the most part. I was probably taller than 90% of the people there. I stood out like a sore thumb. And I was pretty much the only guy in Portugal wearing a baseball hat. And so it turns out baseball, not an international game. Not a lot of people wear the hat. But no one came up to me and mentioned Venezuela. They didn't mention anything about Trump bombing. The only time I heard any sort of political conversation was at New Year's Eve dinner with my wife, stepdaughter, and her boyfriend, and their friends. Their friends came in from England, Slavia, other parts of Portugal,
Slavia?
Slavia, Czechoslovakia, Slovenia.
Okay.
Slovakia. And then politics got brought up just a little bit. And someone at the table said that they wished that Trump was no longer around, meaning that they wished ill will on him, or it'd be better off if he just, died. And that was it. I didn't even get into it. I was like, you know how bad it would be if a president died in office? If you didn't like the guy, that's the worst thing that you could probably have happen, because then they get a burial, they get remembered, and all that kind of stuff. It's best if you don't like a person, just let them fade away. But that's it. That's all the politics I got in Portugal, and that's all I really needed. That's all I wanted too. But I was in Lisbon for a few days, in Porto up north for a few days. Ate a lot of great Portuguese baked goods, traveled on the trains, walked the streets, and that was it. There wasn't a lot of international geopolitical talk. Thank God.
All right, yeah, I was just kind of curious what the temperament was there, because it was a shit show here for about 48 hours, and now it's gone.
All right, so I have some thoughts.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting over camera angles. Which camera angle tells the story people want?
Yeah,
basically.
I did watch, even though I tried to stay away from the news. I was like, okay, I'll stay away from the news. I'll watch CNN International, and because when you don't have like the best internet sometimes in some places, and so I turned on CNN and International, and they were covering the Venezuelan stuff like nonstop. So I was like, okay, let's see what CNN International has to say about this. I got to say, CNN International was covering it in a very straightforward way, not pro or con. They were just kind of giving the facts of what was happening on the ground. And I kind of even got the general feeling that CNN International, they really liked what Trump did. That was the underlying subtle emotion from CNN International. They kind of liked it. They liked what he did. I thought it was a very neocon maneuver to do. This is straight out of what Elliot Abrams wanted to do during the first Trump administration, who was an old school neocon carryover from the first Trump administration. He got fired or let go, and that policy seemed to have gotten implemented a couple weeks ago. So people obviously are saying it's about money, it's about oil, it's not really about drugs. It does seem to be about oil, but it does seem to be more about China and
some of that.
Yeah, like a foothold in the our part of the world over here. So there's multiple different reasons. It did go against what Trump said in his speech last year of not wanting to get involved in other people's affairs. So he does certainly look like a hypocrite, doesn't he, Joe?
Sure.
He does.
Play the Instagram thing I just dropped in there, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I gotta say that I understand it, but I'll talk about my feelings here in a second. I'll play this Instagram clip right now. So, who is this? You know who this guy is?
It's a bunch. It's a little
little montage.
All of our favorites.
Okay. Okay, let me bring this up on screen right here. Right here, bingo bongo. Okay, here we go.
Implications here are really great for the Venezuelan people.
What happens in Venezuela, what happens in Israel, everything's connected. Iran.
A lot of people may not make the connection as to why this matters to us in the Middle East. There has been a 20-year partnership between Iran and Venezuela under both two previous dictators. The ties are deep.
The Iranians are on notice. The Iranian regime. President Trump has already warned, listen, you start shooting protesters en masse, and the U.S. isn't going to sit still for that.
The possibility of arms shipment from
that may be next
from Iran to Venezuela. So this has got to change.
The implications here.
Okay.
I think that first one is really the big one. A lot of people do like this happens in all these clips about Maduro saying free Palestine and all this other stuff. So it's the same as like with JFK and Charlie Kirk. It's like there's too many reasons to take this person out and too many benefits to not take them out.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say that right?
Yeah.
No, too many benefit. Yeah, everybody benefits from, getting this person out of the way and getting Venezuela out of the way and taking over their stuff. But I've heard it also said that you couldn't get this sort of kind of in and out sophisticated operation done if there weren't back channel things, being done between like whatever Venezuelan military or whatever it was to just kind of, because it wasn't like Gaddafi knife in the butt kind of stuff.
It wasn't like Panama and Noriega where there was a standoff there. This was a pretty clean operation, in and out. I mean, this is what Chuck Norris Delta Force kind of stuff you envision. You know what I'm saying? It's like this was like hardcore, and they got the job done. And people were very upset about this. And I chimed in on Twitter. I said, "Look, if you got to have a war, this is, I guess, the kind of one you want, where it's over very quickly." It wasn't technically a war. It was basically just a law enforcement operation. That's how they're categorizing it. But it definitely seems as though someone got in Trump's ear and they said, listen, it's time to find your inner neocon. And we need to start doing these things bigly. And right now, the Epstein stuff doesn't look good. We have to become the United States superstate as soon as possible. And Trump basically said, I'm on board. Let's become a superstate right now. Because what Trump basically said, we're taking over Venezuela. We're going to be there as long as possible. And we're running the joint. He's like walking into the club saying, we're running this place right now. And now he's saying the same thing about Greenland. So these are some very imperial moves, very empire-like moves, and it certainly isn't what I had hoped for, I guess, when it came to Trump, but here we are. We're dealing with Trump the neocon. That's what it feels like. Am I wrong about that? Cratchit, do you have an opinion?
Well, I think it's different in telling that it was not a full takeover and invasion. It was an in and out, and yes, you've got your stooges in there. I would agree. It's definitely not what we wanted to see from the no more regime change wars and any of that crap. Just leave it alone. But it's not as bad as like another Iraq or
no,
because clearly there's elements within the Trump administration or within the administrative state, within the deep state, who want to go into countries like Iran or Syria, like we did in Iraq and Afghanistan, and be there for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a minor positive that hasn't happened yet. But
I guess if you have to do one of these kind of operations, this is the kind of sophistication and efficiency you want to see. It's over very quick. It makes us look good. Even if there was like a backroom deal cut with Moderna to basically say, you know what, we'll make it look good. Like you kind of put up a struggle. But we'll get you out of there right away, and then we'll, make you testify.
Well, but if they wanted to do that, I was thinking about that the other day. If they wanted to do that and just get him and his family out, they could have done that. Like, oh, they kidnapped him while he was on vacation somewhere. It would have been easier. There would have been no lightweight air battle there.
Yeah, but where is Moderna going to vacation? Everything's so expensive these days. You really just can't find a good deal anymore, not unless you got one of those,
go to Trinidad and Tobago.
Sure, you could go to Club Med. They're running good deals. But so we had that. You got anything more on that, Joe? Because it does.
No.
Okay, we had that. That was a big one. And then we had all the big hubbub about the Somali daycare fraud that just continued to roll out. It felt like almost every few days. At least that's when I'd get my updates. Like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another undercover video. Oh, there's more. Oh, it's 5 billion. Oh, now it's 10 billion. And then, oh, there's stuff going on in Ohio. And Joe, there was a big Somali population here, and there still is, right around Morris Road. You know that area. And apparently there's daycare issues around there. And then over in California. So that kind of spiraled. And then it all kind of culminated to what happened with this ICE shooting, not but 2 days ago at this point? Is it 2 days or just a day and a half? I don't know. Well,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Trump's
matter.
Hitler.
But here's an article from the Mirror. I'll bring this up on screen. ICE agent pulls out gun in woman's face amid ticking time bomb for civil war. This is what their headline is. Amid ticking time bomb for civil war. Okay. This is what we got. So here it is.
Wait. Read that again.
So ICE agent pulls out gun in woman's face amid ticking time bomb for civil war.
Okay, I misheard you. I thought they were saying that was the ticking time bomb.
Well, this is apparently another story that happened after the shooting. So Minnesota Governor Tim Walz deployed the National Guard to assist law enforcement as protests broke out across the state and country after an ICE agent fatally shot a Minneapolis woman. So we're dealing with the aftermath.
Yeah, just for fun.
So clashes between protesters and federal officers escalated after agents appeared to pull out loaded firearms on demonstrators in Minnesota on Thursday. There were several reports of violent clashes between protesters and federal officers outside the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Building between Minneapolis and St. Paul, with Trump branded a disgrace to humanity after his comments about the dead Minnesota mother. Okay, that's what it says in the Mirror here. And there's a link to a whole other article about Trump being branded as a disgrace to humanity.
Well, and this is pretty even reporting too. They're being they're right down the middle there.
Federal officers fired pepper balls at the crowd to push them away from the federal building to apprehend a man. Harrowing video footage shows agents appearing to pull out loaded firearms and pointing them at a woman's face after shoving another woman to the ground. The incident has not been addressed by federal officials at press time. It comes after an ICE agent's cam footage exposed the truth and revealed Renee Nicole Good's final 8 words before she was shot in the face. And then they have related articles here. A handful of protesters were reportedly detained by federal agents at the protest. Later in the evening, protesters were spotted building makeshift barriers to prevent vehicles from entering the intersection near the shooting site, and new barriers, including concrete K-rails installed with a crane attachment to a flatbed truck, were installed in the morning outside of the Whipple Federal Building. Near the barriers, graffiti that reads, "No ICE zone can be seen." Quote, blocking the streets is a serious concern for fire and emergency medical response because it can delay response times and restrict access for emergency vehicles, the CD government said in a statement. But they didn't say that we're going to prevent it. They're just basically telling people it's frowned upon. You shouldn't do that. To ensure emergency access to the city is removing the barriers currently blocking the streets. Oh, sure.
Yeah. By the way, those barriers, the barricades are talking about, not the K-rails, but the ones that the protesters put up. It's pallets and piles of trash, and you can just drive a vehicle through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well and structurally sound, very well constructed.
The article goes on to say the Trump administration is justifying the ICE agent Ross's action as an act of self-defense, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem accused Good, the mother, of being a domestic terrorist after alleging she attempted to run over an officer with her vehicle. Disturbing footage of the tragic incident flooded social media, heightening emotions. So they really downplayed that.
Well, this whole article is very slanted.
State officials and residents widely disagree with the narrative being pushed by the Trump administration, sparking the protests. Quote, they are already trying to spin this action as self-defense, says Minneapolis mayor. Directly after the shooting, having seen the video for myself, I want to tell everyone directly, this is bull S to ICE. Get the F out of Minneapolis. And that was said by the mayor.
By the way, this is the same mayor that let his city burn during the Summer of Love.
Yeah. He added growing anger. He added, growing anger, we do not want you here. your stated reason for being in the city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing the exact opposite.
Are they?
Protests erupted across the country on Thursday evening after an ICE agent, identified as Jonathan Ross, fatally shot a 37-year-old mother named Renee Nicole Good in the face inside her vehicle amid an immigration raid in Minneapolis. Tim Walz called the National Guard to assist. Okay, they're just reiterating the same thing over and over again. And it's very divisive what happened. And
well, you said it earlier. They really, really, really want George Floyd 2.0. This doesn't have the right elements. It's the wrong time of year. People don't want to go out and protest when it's 8 degrees. It's the wrong color person to be involved, and the footage is not as clear cut as they would have you believe, because I've seen 3 different camera angles, 2 of which clearly are showing the vehicle hitting the guy. So
yeah,
whether that was intentional or not, she was actively fleeing the scene after she was ordered out of a vehicle.
She was. Now,
just like you see this every now and then, people pulled over for traffic stops or whatever, and the cops say get out of the car, and somebody argues, and then they try to speed off, and they get shot and killed, or they get shot and injured, or whatever, and everyone's like, oh no, they were a good person. No, it's not a good time to like get in the cop's face about that.
Yeah, there can be 2 wrong parties here. The cops, or in this instance, the ICE officials may have been overzealous, overbearing. They could have been jerks. We don't know. I don't think you should, as a law enforcement, be calling someone a bitch. You should act professional as possible, no matter how they are treating you. You gotta be as professional as possible. This person also apparently was not cooperating. So there's 2 wrong actions here. And
this had been going on apparently all day as well. They had a convoy of multiple vehicles, and I think she was the lead vehicle, and this was going on for hours and hours and hours. So that's why when you finally see the start of the one footage where there's a truck that pulls up and they order her out of the vehicle, they basically have had it to that point because she keeps pulling in front of them and blocking their vehicles, and that's what kind of escalated it right there.
Yeah, and I think if this person is charged, which they very well likely maybe.
No chance.
That they're going to speak to the state of mind of these ICE agents, which is, this is not like if this was just the first incident like this that had occurred, there might be, you might be understands like, okay, this person definitely acted over the line in an unwarranted way by shooting. But these ICE agents have been shot at. There have been assassination attempts on them. They have been harassed. And so I'm sure that these ICE agents feel pretty under the gun themselves when they go out there. So it probably speaks to their state of mind. And if I was the defense attorney, I'd probably talk about that to the jury when it comes to why he may not be guilty for whatever they may charge him with. It's like,
he's not going to get charged at all. It's not going to get to a jury. That's not going to happen. However, they absolutely want this. They want confrontation. They want it on video. You saw all the whatever the lady's name is, she turned around and her child abusing wife was turning around with her camera. You could see how many people had their phones out. They want footage of this stuff on the tickety talks because it plays into their narrative. It plays into their base. All of these are funded and bussed in people from other places. This is not a grassroots sort of thing. They know exactly where, because they're being told from people on the inside, they know exactly where the apprehensions are going to be, so they can follow them around all day and harass them constantly. And to your point, I don't agree with somebody getting shot at all, but if you're out there in somebody's face, tensions get high, and it was only a matter of time until something like this did happen. Yeah. And we saw one in Portland where they stopped somebody else's car and they tried to run too, and they got lit up. So maybe stop, trying to get away from law enforcement, regardless of whether or not you're being apprehended legally or not, or correctly. That's what the lawyers are for. Let them sort it out. Or just get an activist judge to let you back.
Jesus, yammer on, could you?
Oh, no.
It reminds me of the Mar-a-Lago raid where Trump has his Secret Service bodyguards and then they sent in the plainclothes FBI to do the raid. Like, we'll just see if something happens. And this little article, I don't know if you have much to read it, but I do agree with the sentiment that these guys are, like, whoever they is wants something to pop off so bad.
Yeah.
You see this article from The Hill, Mike?
Let's see here. The Hill. I'll bring it up.
Again, I don't know how much we need to read, but this is just kind of some evidence to suggest that, boy, wouldn't it be great if somebody accidentally started something?
So this is the title here from The Hill is Walz issues warning order to Minnesota National Guard after fatal ICE shooting. And so, yeah, Tim Walz said that he has issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard after a woman was fatally shot by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Minnesota. So, then he goes on to say Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota, and that has been pretty evident. But we love this state, Walz said on Wednesday at a press conference. We won't let them tear us apart. We will not turn against each other. You know, the best way to do this is to cooperate with the federal officials. The local and federal should cooperate a little bit more and help out. But they're refusing to do that. So,
well, that's what it sounds more to me that Tim Walz is saying. I'll use the National Guard to fight off ICE, which is just like insane. Is that the implication you got?
Yes, that's what I'm getting out of this. And I'm saying this is where we are becoming an authoritarian state, whether we like it or not. Just what flavor are we going to get? That's all that's left to be decided. And it feels like the left really want this conflict, and there are probably a lot of people on the right that want this conflict as well too. And David Knight, who used to work for InfoWars, I think had the correct assessment is that it does feel like this is being fueled. Like events like this are being amplified and promoted in order to promote this civil conflict in which it does provoke a crackdown by the federal government, or it does amplify a revolution type of mentality in which it will create some sort of civil unrest. That's what they're gunning for. It's what it feels like. And I said this last year, like if Trump does not handle this immigration thing correctly, it will produce this exact result here that we're seeing. And is it being done on purpose? Like, are the ICE guys and gals are they doing things that are over the line on purpose in order to provoke a reaction? I don't know, but that could be in the cards too. Who knows? Let me see what the rest of this article is down here at the Hill. Walz went on to say, from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. He's good. To Donald Trump and Homeland Security, you've done enough. The government called on Americans to come together to confront Trump's administration and his immigration crackdown in cities across the country. To Americans who are watching this, if you are in Portland or if you're in LA or if you're in Chicago or wherever you are, stand with us. Stand with us against this. It's almost kind of like a call to arms.
It's dumb. It's you were away for a while. It's hard to stay away from the news. I whenever I go on vacation, I try to stay away too, but it always finds a way to get at you.
Yeah.
And having been away from the show for as long as I am, I'll wake up and it's like I already know what's going to be on Twitter or X.
Yeah.
I already know. I heard about it. I saw something on YouTube. I already know whose side everybody's on. I already know what the arguments are. I'm just kind of tired of it. Shut up.
Yeah. Now the latest thing on Twitter is like the people who are supporting ICE. They're being called bootlickers. And but those people conveniently forgot of their position during COVID and everything that was going on during COVID and how they were bootlickers as well too. I don't like this overreach of the government, but this is a situation that has been produced by all the administrations probably since Reagan, with not having a very sound immigration policy. Because, as we all know, this directly affects the election. The more immigration, the more undocumented people you have in a particular state, that affects the census, that throws off the electorate count, and that gives unfair power to basically to any state that can harbor the most people, regardless of their status. And if you can accumulate the most people, you have the most votes to determine the next president. And
well, I think the big factor here is this epicenter of Tim Walz and the Somalis and the shooting and everything. And then, the George Floyd history. It's, they've incentivized, they're a sanctuary state, so they've incentivized a welfare program for all these imported criminals. And from what some of these folks have said, and I think there's probably something true to it, but the culture of Somalia is such that the government is so corrupt that anything, like, I got to get mine is sort of the mantra of the population generally.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's there to be stolen, they're going to steal it. And so, they say it's racist, obviously, but it's the same. Some languages don't have the word for maintenance. There is no word for maintenance because it's like, I just need it now. Like, there's no reason to maintain something. I don't even have anything. So maintaining it doesn't become part of the lexicon. And so that cultural clash with the Somalis doing their whole thing, and then you've got the shooting, is like, am I being distracted, or is this whole thing just like a trash fire?
It feels like we're destined for an escalation, and it feels like the people in power that want to de-escalate or have some sort of resolution are choosing not to do so. It's like we're headed to an apex here. And you can call it destiny, fate. It's in the stars. That's what it feels like. And the 250th birthday is coming up for the country. Am I wrong about that?
That somehow we got to wreck it.
Yeah, we're coming
this is
up.
Why we can't have nice things, guys.
But the protests are erupting nationwide. They are chanting various fun things, like in New York. They're chanting "Save a Life, Kill ICE." That's what they're chanting in New York. They're also calling for the head of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. They said she will be hanged or hung. But I think hanged is the same thing. She will be hung, Gretchen. She will be hung. But I'll play a little bit of this. This is some of the audio from this. Here we go.
It's all so tiresome. I think we spent too much time on this story.
Okay,
personally.
We will move on.
Don't you? Isn't it? It's just like we already kind of know.
Yeah, it's all going down one way or the other. I won't read the article here. Just another headline here is that there's a gun-toting feds in ski mask swarmed the ICE agent's house. The guy who did the shooting, they swarmed his house, retrieved his belongings, and they're claiming that the house is sitting empty and that him and his wife have gone into hiding. So, all right, there we go. It's just going to pop off now. It's just going to...
One last thing on it, if you don't mind. One last thing.
Okay.
I just thought this was kind of funny. This guy's great. I feel like I haven't seen him for a while. There haven't been really good grillings in Congress lately.
Is this Senator Kennedy?
No.
This was my ass.
That would have been a good one, too. He's been quiet.
You're going to look so hot.
I do. We need more of that. All right. So 1 second. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. This is Rep. Brandon Gill. Brandon. Okay. Here's Brandon Gill.
Now, Lou, again, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, does large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir, could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's repeated right there. Okay.
No, I mean he goes through a bunch of different sort of government
I'll keep
programs,
going.
and that's the it's fine. Like the numbers that are astronomical. That it's like they bring in Somalis who are scamming the government, and they're also on they make up like the top 70-80% of people who are just getting my gives me that. Like it's just they go to Minnesota. It's a sanctuary place, and they just start collecting welfare from Minnesotans who've been there forever. And the guy wants to say, "Oh, well, the Somalis. There's some of these people are second generation. They're they're Minnesotans too." And it's like, shut up, shut up. You don't even believe that, you dumbass.
Yeah, there is some deep scamming going on. What everyone is theorizing is like, then they claim all this money, then it gets funneled right back into the Democratic Party machine, and it's just a continual cycle. And it's a lot of fun. Joe, is what I'm trying to say.
Remember that Sam Bankman-Fried too, and all the money that was going to NGOs to Ukraine was all coming back to the DNC and Vote Blue and everything. It's like they got the scam down pat.
They figured this out. I mean, in how many years has been going on? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Maybe this is the way it's always been going on since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. But yeah, we're being screwed blued, and no one cares. No one really cares.
Yep.
All right. Well, Chris, you got anything else on this, or you want to move on? Huh?
No, I don't. Okay. This is all you and Joe for this one.
All right.
All right.
I'll bring this up because this is kind of political, but not really. Kind of political, kind of UFO. But I got to bring this up because this is my beat. U.S. Air Force flights landed at Area 51, and they're fueling speculation and intrigue. Yes, some important people have recently been stopping off at the facility, Area 51, for unknown reasons. The flights which occur on a regular basis, use the Air Force base, the Janet Fleet, acronym known as the Joint Air Network for Employee Transportation, a notorious secretive
watch
group.
those fly out of Las Vegas all the time.
Yeah. A secretive group of aircraft identifiable only by a single red stripe running from the nose to tail. According to tracking data, the most recent flight took off from Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas December 22nd and arrived at Area 51 a short time later. Such flights are believed to be carrying high-ranking military officials, Department of Defense staff, and contractor employees to facilities known to house classified and top-secret information. Anyone wishing to access Area 51 must use one of these flights, as it is not possible to commute by car. The base, which is part of the U.S. Air Force's Nevada Test and Training Range, has long been shrouded in secrecy and is thought to have been used to develop and test various new aircraft over the years. Some believe that captured alien technology is secretly being reverse engineered there. Most likely, the latest flights to the base are carrying essential personnel who are working on some secretive project or other, possibly even a new type of undisclosed aircraft prototype. As tends to be the case, however, we will probably never know exactly what they're up to. And just remember, not but a few months ago, they had that person trying to break into Area 51. They tried to go through the gate. That didn't work out. And then there was some sort of crash near the base that was cordoned off. And the FAA put in no fly for the range of I think almost 10 days. And then they recovered the craft material. But then fake bomb, I guess material was left there or material that gave indication that it could be used for bomb training was found. A lot of weird stuff was going on around Area 51 since October, November. And now
There's always weird stuff going on out there.
And there's one article that I read that the Secret Service were on one of these flights as well. They may have made an update to that article, but I read that. Some people were claiming that the Secret Service were part of these flights out there. And I guess you would only have that, if they planned on the president actually going to Area 51. So the Secret Service might be going out there to plan various operations.
Not necessarily the president. Could be anyone else. I mean, it could even be, generally, I'm guessing some sort of diplomat or government official, and they were out doing whatever. So, or somebody left their wallet there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Here's some other some current event stuff. Home Alone star. You know Home Alone, Joe? You watched that during Christmas? Is that one of your favorite Christmas movies? Probably. I watched Home Alone.
He's coming to. I like watching Joe run back over to the.
You always want to ask me some dumbass question when I go to multitask. But yes, I know Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin had a troubled past. Seems to have gotten everything together. Home Alone was a big cultural moment, and funnily enough, Trump was in the second one, and then I believe they edited him out because
no shit.
There may have been an instance where he was edited out. Maybe they didn't.
Well, Home Alone star Daniel Stern gets hooked by the police after allegedly soliciting a prostitute.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's up on Clown Baby sent that one in. You know the name of the burglars in Home Alone, Joe?
The Wet Bandits.
That's right, they're the Wet Bandits.
Which makes nothing but sense.
And so is this really that big of a deal? But TMZ is reporting on this. This is pretty big news, gotta say.
I mean, yeah, because I think about him every morning and night before I go to bed.
He was
Daniel
also
Stern?
Yeah, Daniel Stern. He's also the voice of Wonder Years. So he figured, you don't really have to solicit a prostitute. They're like, you can just get him legally in Las Vegas. I guess he didn't want to travel. He's lazy.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, he's lazy, is what they're saying.
He looks like a
he looks like Gandalf.
Magician.
Yeah, he looks like Gandalf.
Something. He's definitely able to cast spells.
Yeah. Too bad for him, but he's in trouble. It's just a slap on the wrist. This is barely news. Let's see here. AI artists are ripping off people, and they're pretty upset about it, Cratchit.
Wait, what do you mean by ripping off people?
Well, like in my genre of music that I like hardcore and metal, well, there's an AI artist rips off Knocked Loose, which is like a hardcore band, and another band called Counterparts, and more on streaming services. So AI-generated metal act called Broken Avenue racks up Spotify streams while blatantly ripping off bands like Knocked Loose, Counterparts, and others.
Well, again, I'm wondering what this blatantly ripping off means. Because if you play a cover or you play a sound-alike, it's just like you going out with your band and doing it.
Sure.
That is completely okay.
If I sound like Knocked Loose, and if you guys be called a rip-off,
If you're in a cover band of a band, you're really good at it, and there are many cover bands that a lot of people will argue are better than the acts they're trying to cover. If you dress like them, and then if you start using their name, then it becomes an issue. But if you're out there, no, we're a Van Halen cover band called, whatever. We're a bunch of, I'm turning this on the fly here. We're a Van Halen cover band from Idaho, so we're Vandal Halen. Oh. Okay, great. You go out and do that. No problem. That is not ripping anybody off. So I'm curious what they mean by that. Unless they're taking their recordings, relabeling them, and re-uploading.
That's not apparently what's going on. I think what they're doing is kind of what we do and did with the Kenny Loggins project or the Kenneth Logger project, where we uploaded, variety or kind of their songs, and
they were covers.
They were covers, but here's the article. So Broken Avenue, which currently has 120,000 listeners on Spotify, that's the AI band, is on plenty of playlists to the point where they've got their own Spotify generated This Is, which is shamelessly stealing from the bands like Knocked Loose, Counterparts, and The Devil Wears Prada, which is disappointing, but definitely par for the course when it comes to Spotify not giving a care about musicians. Doubly so considering it seems most of Broken Avenue's popularity comes from AI-generated playlists. The project not only steals their music, but also seems to be using shitty AI-generated variants of covers of the artist too. So like an AI-generated version of Knocked Loose, which are young guys, and they look like hardcore guys. So I get it. For starters,
again, I'm going to be splitting hairs on this because they keep saying things like steals their music. Are they taking their songs, putting them into a different playlist, and then monetizing that? Because if so, yes, that's theft. If they're taking a song and from that making an AI sound-alike cover, no,
to a
it's not
federal
theft.
fucking.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to bring up Broken Avenue here so we can compare. And they're not doing it, Cratchit. They're doing AI inversions of these songs. So we'll listen to Knocked Loose, and then we'll listen to the Broken Avenue, Knocked Loose. There we are. Just on the fly. I'm not even like a huge Knocked Loose fan. We'll do it on the fly. So this is one of the Broken Avenue right here. This is Broken Avenue. Okay.
There's a crack running down the face I wear. I don't know.
Okay, that's them right there. And here is Knocked Loose. No, they're not being ripped off. I mean, you could say some of the parts are similar, but when it comes to like hardcore and metal, a lot of the parts seem to be very similar. And there's only so many chords, and especially in these types of genre, it's going to sound very similar to people, but they're not going to have a case. So to say
they both suck pretty bad.
It was just noise.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Get off my lawn.
This is what it is. Counterparts vocalist is particularly pissed off, stating that he has $100 to anyone who can get me legit contact information for the person who's doing this. Well, $100, huh? All right. So, yeah, they're very upset, and they're not taking the sitting down Cratchit. They're very angry. There's nothing they can do.
I'm still not following this blatant ripoff. Sounds like somebody's playing covers of our songs, AI generated or not, and monetizing it.
That's what they're doing. And
but unless someone's using the same name and trying to portray themselves as that artist, it is not theft. That's not how music works.
This is the same argument that was going on 2 years ago with Midjourney, as people were upset that Midjourney was consuming all visual art and then creating versions of it, of any art movement that you wanted. And I don't know, where did we come down on that? I forget. That kind of argument just went away because people just use it for AI-generated images for everything now. It seems to be just the way it goes.
And yet you can still spot AI-generated images very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's still working on art. I bet he uses AI images every day for his art. Or at least
we've been using AI video generation. There's certain, like Envato even has a lot of AI. Envato is like a stock photography thing, but they have a lot of voice generation stuff. And we find ourselves where, say, a client will send assets like pictures and they look like crap, or they'll send us video to use and it doesn't give us what we need. But we will do the kind of thing where you plug in images of people, say, with within a bank or something, and we want to do a commercial with them or some pre-roll for YouTube, and they send us junk. but we take what they send and then we can generate like these really cool, like spinning around the bank with these people who are not in the same pictures together doing this whole back-to-back superhero look and feel. And if you need like sometimes in a video where you're cut 8 seconds, you've got this thing and it looks freaking amazing. It looks better than the images they sent. So that's one way we use it. And then we use it a lot of times just for conceptual stuff. So one of the clients wanted a badge type logo for their summit that they were going to do in New York City. And they sent us images of things they liked as reference. And we just plugged in the reference and said, this is going to be for another, basically just tell it what it's for. And it gave us a bunch of kind of, 40% their stuff, at least a foundation that we could move forward with. So I like it. I think the ethics of all this and the conversations around it, everybody seems to know, but I don't think anyone really does know, because you're right. It's like everything's derivative. And as Kretsch is describing music, it's like, what about Elvis impersonators for the last 80 years or whatever? Like they play his songs and probably make a lot of money doing it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Mike, digging into this particular story, it seems to be most of the issue seems to be about the lyrics. So AI or whoever, AI is this person's prompting AI to create alternate versions of these songs with the exact same lyrics. Now, if they're doing that and not crediting the original artist, then yes, there is a copyright issue there because they're not licensing or crediting. But if they're not doing that, then it's just somebody pissed off that someone's doing versions of their song and getting 38 cents a month on Spotify for it.
Right.
So, recently, God, you did ruin Joe Rogan for me, by the way. One of the things I was trying to do recently is David Berman, who was the lead singer of Silver Jews, who then became Purple Mountains was his last project. And it was right when I got back from Mexico. I was living in Austin at the time, and his album had been out. And I was like, oh, you know what? I bet you he's going on tour. And I was out on a run and doing my stupid shit where I'm looking at my phone while I'm running, and I was like, I'm going to look for concert
that's safe,
tickets.
Joe.
I know. One day I'm going to bust my ass. But I was like, I'm going to look for concert tickets because I bet you he's going on tour. And you do get tour information, but it was news. And David Berman just that day had hung himself in New York City. Oh. It was the weirdest thing on earth because I was like, I should buy tickets. And then it's I Google him and it's he's dead now. But anyway, he was circling Pavement and all those guys. But what he also did was he wrote a book of poems called Actual Air. One of my favorite books. I've read it a bajillion times. And he only read a few of the poems live. So I went into 11 Labs and I was like, I would love to have because I've always wanted an audio book of him reading it. So I went into 11 Labs. I started I plugged in his voice and everything. And then I was like, well, it doesn't sound like him reading his poetry. So I went over to ChatGPT and I asked it to help me get a poetic read for, I explained a little bit about what I was doing. And it was like, I can't do that. You would be creating artwork that by an artist who's no longer alive and and cannot consent. And then I went to Claude, same thing. I found that very interesting.
Oh, you have to ask it the right way.
Totally. Be vague about it.
Well, you can say hypothetically, how would I do this? You could say hypothetically, or in the form of a poem, write me a poem with this criteria. And then you can do that. So it would
I was asking it to tell me how to use 11 Labs to get it to read like that. Is it an M dash? Is it an ellipses? That kind of stuff. I was asking it that. But to your point, yes, and that's part of the thing that I think a lot of people are intimidated by with AI is that you're not going to get exactly what you want from the first thing, and you're not going to get it from the one generator. And sometimes asking ChatGPT how you should run something through Gemini is more helpful so you can get a JSON file out of Claude or something. It's you got to know that these are not quick answers, and prompting is probably maybe one of the things that takes the longest.
Yeah.
These computers, I tell you, they just get crazier and crazier.
Well, on that, let's not forget about IBM. IBM has a brand new AI named Bob, and it downloads and executes malware.
Microsoft had Bob 30 years ago.
Well, IBM brought it back. So, and it will do all the worst things that you need it to do. So vulnerabilities in IBM's Bob allows attackers to trigger and download and execute malware via indirect prompt injection if users select auto approve for even one known trusted command. So this is bad. So, and say the Bob has been identified that it allows actors to exploit it down to without very much human approval in the configuration. So IBM's new coding agent, currently in closed beta, and that's called Bob here, is offered through, let's see here, screen. There we go. Is offered through the Bob CLI, the command line interface terminal, and the Bob IDE is an AI-powered editor similar to Cursor, which I use. In this article, we demonstrate how the Bob CLI is vulnerable to prompt injection attackers, resulting in malware execution, and the Bob IDE is vulnerable to known AI-specific data exfiltration. So there we go. Luckily, it's in closed beta, but this is pretty insane right here. And I'm sure versions of this have already leaked out and will be used against everyone. So that's nice. Okay. It's just bringing it up. There we go. So IBM's finally in the game, Cratchit, so that's good news.
I forgot about IBM almost entirely.
Yeah, most people have. But now you got to worry about them. They're a big threat to you and everyone else.
Dare you say they're back in a big way?
No. This is a very small article, and I doubt anybody outside of this podcast will probably hear about IBM Bob for a long time. Until it's on like the evening news that some hackers in Russia used IBM Bob to steal millions of dollars. So, let's see here. Another headline here I'll bring up. And we like future predictions here. We like talking about seers, prophets, clairvoyance. And there's one that always comes back. This is Baba Vanga. She is a woman who died many years ago, but a lot of her predictions are still talked about. And in 2026, she's got a prediction. Oh, yes, the blind Bulgarian mystic once made a prediction about visitors from space, and it has gone viral recently. Oh, yes, born in Bulgaria in 1911, Baba Vanga spent most of her life in the mountains and was renowned all over the world for her prophetic predictions about the future. While a great deal of skepticism has always surrounded the accuracy of these predictions, many people remain adamant that she has successfully foretold a wide range of major global events. Even though she died back in 1996 during the Clinton administration, I'm not blaming Clinton, just a side note, her predictions are still referenced and scrutinized for indications of what might come in the future. One prediction in particular that has become increasingly relevant is that of a large spaceship arriving on Earth in November of 2026. So that's right around the corner. Remember, we had all that talk about 3-Eye Atlas and Avi Loeb from Harvard saying that this could be a spaceship. And then what did we get out of it? We didn't get anything out of that one, Cratchit. But now,
whatever happened to that?
It went away. It flew out of this solar system. Maybe it'll be back in a few 100,000 years.
No, we'll get right on it.
But yes, this one, a large spaceship coming in November. So keep that in mind.
It's all officially happening.
There are also references to this happening during a sporting event. One alternative interpretation of this prediction suggests that a spacecraft was actually due to arrive this year instead, and the discovery of the 3-Eye Atlas in our solar system back in July certainly got people believing that that was the actual event that she predicted. But when the comet passed its closest approach to Earth a few days ago and began heading back out of the solar system, however, that possibility seemed to have been put to bed. Alien visitors aside, Baba Vanga also predicted other things for 2026, such as wars, earthquakes, and floods, although none of these things are anything new. Whether anything will happen next year, well, or 2026, since we're here now, that has yet to be seen. So, okay, there we go. A bizarre prediction about a large alien ship coming in November. So be on the lookout. Even though she said it's during a sporting event, doesn't the World Series takes place in October, so that's not it.
Well, it's kissed November a couple of times.
Okay,
it'll be a football. It'd have to be a football game.
Yeah.
It'd have to be outdoors.
Yeah,
so.
Football game. Is soccer played in November? I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, there's definitely leagues playing, but
okay.
no one in this continent's paying any attention.
Yeah, we don't care. Yeah, it could happen.
What about the World Cup? Isn't that the United States this year? Isn't Trump touting that?
Oh, yeah, he is. He does like that. Yeah.
When is it? November doesn't seem like the right time for soccer.
No, it does.
It's July usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
June 11th to July 19.
All I know is that when the World Cup comes along, everybody turns into a soccer expert and pretends like they've always loved it.
Yes. They're a bunch of liars and fakes. We call them posers.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. A bunch of posers. I don't like it.
It is. It's so weird. It's been happening for 20 years. Like, it's like, wait a minute. I've never heard you once talk about soccer. And now it's like every day, all day, everyone, especially when I was working in offices, it was like around the coffee. Oh, it's just like, is it what?
Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
I love it.
No, sure you do. Yeah, no one really. There's a few people that like soccer in America, but by and large, it's a European thing, and that's just the way it is. Nothing against soccer people here. It's not part of our culture just yet.
It's all bullshit.
Yes,
I love
it. Here's a headline here that I think is interesting. So, too drunk to drive. Father asked 12-year-old son to drive family home. Okay.
That's good news.
I would say this is a responsible father. On the evening of January 2nd, while conducting breathalyzer tests on motorists as part of a traditional BOB campaign meant to combat drunk driving in Belgium, police in the commune of Duffel noticed something very particular. A car that was approaching their checkpoint seemed to be doing so at a snail's pace, finally stopping a dozen meters before reaching them. Okay. As they approached the vehicle, traffic officers immediately noticed that the person in the driver's seat seemed to be unusually short and young. Their initial impression were confirmed when they reached the driver's window. It was a young boy, no more than 12 years old. Next to the child was his father, who nonchalantly admitted that he asked the boy to drive home because he had too much to drink. That's responsible. I would say that's not a bad thing. And plus, the kid's getting some valuable driving experience. Every kid gets shown how to drive by their parents at some point in time. Typically, I would say when they're 14, 15, you can maybe take the wheel and they'll take you into a parking lot. But there's no better learning than on-the-job training. And this is it.
Especially at night.
Yeah. And police and all this kind of stuff.
All sorts of stuff going on there. And you drunk dad sitting next to you, passed out.
Hey, change the channel.
Yeah.
Let's stop off at Taco Bell first.
Getting increasingly belligerent as you go along.
You don't know how to drive. You suck at driving.
Who taught you to drive? What's going on here?
Quote, I had drunk too much, so I entrusted the car to my son to drive home, the boy's father told police. Sitting in the back seat of the car were the boy's mother and two young siblings. Wait, the mother couldn't drive?
Yeah, how drunk was she?
Yeah, she must have been passed out.
Okay.
All who seemed to be okay with the situation. Interestingly, the mother had a valid driver's license herself, but somehow thought it was a good idea to let her preteen son drive the whole family home at night. Quote, while no accidents were reported, law enforcement was nonetheless stunned by the situation. They fined the 12-year-old for driving without a license. They fined his son. Take him to jail. Take this kid to jail right now.
Yeah, he needs to go to jail.
They fined the 12-year-old for driving without a license and his father for entrusting the car to someone not fit to drive. But the matter didn't end there. A third report was filed for a concerning educational situation, a rare seen charge in a traffic-related offense, and one that opens the door to a broader assessment of the family's environment. Now both father and son will have to appear before a police court in Belgium. And in case you're wondering how the family got home that night, the boy's mother took his place behind the wheel and did what she was supposed to do in the first place, drive him home. And very interesting. That's quite the charge. We don't have that here in America. Concerning educational situation is the charge that they got. Interesting.
I think here it would just be driving without a license.
Yeah. Disorderly conduct. Maybe
domestic terrorism.
Endangering a child probably would be one that we'd dish out here.
Could they ticket you for endangering a child if you're the child who's endangering yourself?
Well, they couldn't ticket the child. Well, maybe if you want to be a jerk prosecutor, yeah, you could give the ticket to the kid for endangering himself. Yes.
Didn't they say that they gave a ticket to the kid, right?
Yeah, they did. They fined the kid.
Yeah.
You should have known better. I thought that was an interesting one right there. I also had another story of an American father who doesn't speak Spanish, but when he goes into surgery, he speaks fluently, which is interesting. I thought it's that foreign language syndrome. We had a listener, I forget the listener's name. I think he was down in Chile or Brazil, where he got into an accident. And when he came out of the accident, he managed to just understand English. And that's how he found our show. I don't know if he still listens. I hope he does. I thought of him when I saw that story. And then I have a story here that a woman files a complaint against a husband because he concealed the fact that he was bald the entire time.
Like with toupees, or just was always wearing a series of funny hats?
Well, now you asked the question. Now I got to break it open, Gretchen.
Wait. Let me, before you break it open, unless this is another one of those damn stories from like India or somewhere, at which point it's fake.
It's an Indian story.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about the
one
other?
One of those aggregators you use pulls stories from India all the time. They're just straight made up.
They're great. Remember that one story we had where the husband was upset that his wife was a night serpent, and he accused her of transforming into a snake at night and trying to bite him and do snake-like things to him. That was a story out of India. I believe that one. That was a good one. That was grounds for divorce too. So, Joe, you got anything over there you want to hit on?
Don't I get my interstitial music?
Yes, you do. Sorry,
it's forgotten.
I was prattling on. Yes, you do.
Tell me about it. Holy shit!
You do. You get your music here.
You haven't had to use that button.
I haven't.
He's got to find it.
I gotta find it now.
He's vamping to find the file.
No, I got it. Here we go.
Now I'm smoking a cigarette and drinking something I won't reveal.
Play the clip.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Oh boy.
No need. Do not pre-talk about it. Just play the clip.
Here we go.
Tavares, right in the butt? No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that they're not even close when this stuff happens.
Well, if you spell right, R-I-T-E, Rite Aid, yeah, you can. It works. Let's listen to that one again.
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Perfect. Perfect.
I don't know how it crosses people's minds. An Instagram clip. You guys maybe played it. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
There's a Psy-op guy. He explains a Psy-op to some young podcaster who's apparently blowing up.
Okay, let's find out. I don't think we played this one. And I want someone to explain to me about Psy-ops.
Know if you're in the middle of a psychological operation?
I would just assume 24/7 that we are. But let's go into the details. But
what are the signs that something is a psychological operation specifically?
So narrative sticking points. So matching narrative is number one. And matching narrative means that I'm hearing pretty much the same messaging from media outlets, celebrity influencers, which is number two, and authority. So people that are in a position of social authority, not like cops and lawyers, and judges, but people in social authority, like pop singers. And I won't say any names. Pop singers, the most popular pop singers, all saying the same shit on social media. That should terrify you to the deepest part of your core, that none of this is real, or none of this is what it seems like. And those are the first two. Number three is if you're seeing people silenced or ostracized for disagreeing with an idea. We saw this during the pandemic, like crazy. There were Harvard-educated medical doctors that were kicked off of social media, which is our greatest fear of human beings, is being ostracized socially. It's greater than death. This is why public speaking is rated higher by almost everybody than death. And it's not public speaking that we're afraid of. It's being out there and having a big idea and then getting rejected by a large crowd. That's what terrifies human beings. And you can leverage the shit out of that, especially when you can manufacture an artificial tribe on social media. So Harvard-educated doctors that disagreed with this mainstream narrative were getting banned. And the dude, I can't remember his name. I wish I could, but the dude who invented mRNA vaccines was on there and went against the narrative and got ostracized. The dude who invented this kind of vaccine, COVID, it's unbelievable. So like, and that step three, just remember in your mind that if an idea requires suppression to exist, it's a horrible idea, and it's most likely a psyop. Good ideas don't need to suppress other people. Good ideas travel on their own. Good ideas spread on their own. It doesn't need suppression by itself. So those three are some of the big ones. And
how do you know if you're in the middle of?
Yeah, that's troubling.
Yeah, so on that note, I think the COVID thing totally makes sense. I think the Kamala Harris thing, where it's like you have all these celebrities coming out and they're just like, I think she's great. It's like nobody could put their whole, heart behind that. But this just happened, and I know everybody shed a tear and lit a candle and everything else. But if you think back to it and that guy and the Psy-op, see if this X clip makes any sense.
Okay.
They're just trying to make it a thing.
Okay. It's loading. Oh, it'll be a second here. I got to bring it up on screen. Here we go. Oh, I see. Here we go. Bingo bongo. Sorry, people.
You might have to explain it. I don't know how much audio there is.
So there's no audio. It's just a bunch of people. It's just Congress people holding a candlelight. This looks like a candlelight vigil.
It is.
And so it says breaking congressional Dems just held a candlelight vigil to honor the 5th of January and 6th of January. The 5th January 6th anniversary. So the J6 anniversary. Okay. They did a vigil for this?
Yeah.
Wow.
And And so if you remember, the whole thing was pretty much, but I have friends who are like totally on board that this happened. A lot of the Democrats, opinion voices on television all kind of have the same thing where it's like, y'all, I think you're the only ones who really believe that this happened, but you heard it everywhere. Yeah. And so they're still going with it.
They really are. And like on the surface, it looked like a bad day, but out of all world events, not much really happened. If you think about it, yeah, there was some rioting, there was some breaking of stuff, there was some violence. One person got shot that day, and yeah, it was bad. But there have been worse events. There have definitely been worse events in American history. And they got a candlelight visual.
They're just
Joe, my understanding is that Nancy Pelosi was also going to have the National Guard join this vigil, but she opted to not call them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's just so psy-op, obviously. I don't know if there's anything much more to say about it, but I do have some AI stuff, and a lot of this stuff was happening, and I had tons of opinions on it, and I was working 5 jobs this year, or last year, so I don't know. And by the way, a big thank you to everybody who was able to support me. I'm forever in your debt, so to speak, and I'm very grateful for that. It was a lifeline at a time where I totally, and it's still kind of like that. It's tenuous, but it meant a lot. So.
Listen, all I want's some money, and nothing's going to happen. I'm not saying you got to give me money.
But he is. Anyway, this is more of this AI stuff where it's just, I don't even know what to make of it.
Okay, let's check this out.
This is more visual. Sorry, listeners.
Okay. This is up on screen right now. Here we go, people. Jeffrey Epstein walking into a room alive with Charlie Kirk.
With Charlie Kirk.
And this is Saddam Hussein.
Diddy. That's the guy who shot that bank or the insurance executive.
What are you doing here? Back from the dead.
It does feel like that sometimes. Like we're all part of some stage production, and these people are actors, and we just don't know it. I always had that thought that somewhere there's a club, and then you can walk in that club, and there's Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Epstein.
That was Maduro, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, is Maduro over there?
Genius.
Okay. Yeah, it does feel like that.
It had
sometimes.
Kash Patel in there. This is like it looks like the prison cafeteria, and it's got all these sort of major news, conspiracy tangent kind of individuals.
Of course, Kash Patel dropped his lunch and ran away. He doesn't want to know anything. He's shocked and appalled. He runs away.
So that's clearly AI. But then this one I saw this one floating around. It's not X anymore. It's Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly are awful and shut up. They're Nazis, and look at all the Nazi Candace Owens. Yeah, that's what I had in my Twitter or X. So just call it Candace Owens is a Nazi.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of fighting too. A lot of fighting clips. People like to fight.
Yeah.
But we'll bring this up on screen here. Here we go. This is posted by Kim.com.
We have 5 major threats that make our grid extremely vulnerable that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made EMP. So the concern that we have is that we put out this critical information.
Pause it real quick.
Yeah.
You see what's happening here, right?
Well, this appears to be. Is this Erica Kirk?
That's Yeah, that's why I played the AI one first, because I'm like, so they could do a lot of AI. The AI one clearly looked like AI with, Maduro and all those guys, Epstein. It looks really good, but it's also got, it's got those AI failures along the way. But this is supposedly Erica Kirk in a CIA video talking about, threat assessment.
Yeah, EMP.
The CIA.
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It seems to me.
It doesn't appear to be AI. But we also don't know. We only have access to commercial level AI, and we don't know what the big boys and the intelligence agencies might have, and what they might be pumping out. But yeah, this is concerning. I don't know how I feel about it. She's talking about EMP attacks. Should we listen to a little bit more of this?
If you want, her mother apparently is connected to Raytheon or something, and she did. I think she did work on EMP technology or something. So, but I mean, there's a lot there. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about it. This is weird. Like, where have you come down on the Charlie Kirk assassination at this point?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to ask or talk more about that one, but I will give you. Candace was just. She blew. I mean, I've been following it. I find it super compelling. I see a lot in the Discord. Candace is this, Candace is that. It's a limited hangout, blah, blah, blah. All the same shit. But anyway, I'm following it. I think that she's sort of a nexus for, just research, essentially. I pay close attention to all this stuff. I'm on X. I'm watching it all. I definitely knew as soon as it happened that there was something to it that was more than met the eye at the time, especially since you have Bibi Netanyahu on 3 separate occasions that I'm aware of coming out. I didn't do it. I don't know why. I didn't. It's like, nobody said you did, dude. What are you talking about? Like, why? Not weird at all. But yeah, listen to this Candace Owens clip. I think it should be timestamped. This is a Rumble clip. And I think she laid out a really good case. And she's naming a lot of names, putting a lot of different pieces together. And it doesn't seem far-fetched to me. Again, with JFK and all this other stuff, Charlie Kirk was leading a young generation of people on the right. And, it was scaling. He got a lot of the youth behind voting for Trump. He was a significant figure in that. And he was a wholesome figure in that. And he was somebody you could look up to. And, he built a movement, truly. A lot of people thought he would be, think about it. He's like 30 years old. He's got all these celebrities, top politicians coming to an event he helped to build, that AmFest, and all that stuff. It's very remarkable what he was able to do. And then he's, on Megyn Kelly. He's even on with Ben Shapiro, and he's just saying, like, and there's the one clip, and I had all this stuff for the show, and I just, obviously wasn't doing it, but there was the one clip where he's saying that it's in the text, Candace reveals that Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. That's one, but then he was doing his show talking about how there are a lot of, like, people who are technically Jewish, but they're not they're agnostic, and they are the ones who are behind sort of the liberal, like, promoting migration, anti-white, and all this stuff. And they are. And he was pointing it out. Like, he had all those Jewish NGOs making sure that they take the diaspora, which they're so concerned about, of other countries, though, and they put them in the diaspora of the Christian nations and the white nations, which is all a conspiracy theory, all up, even though they're saying, like, I can't wait until America is a not white country anymore. So I think him as this conduit for America First, truly America First, meant, like, we got to get rid of this guy. And the pieces Candace puts together along the way, say what you want, man. Compelling, interesting, and I'm on board. Anyway,
let's take a listen.
Yammering. Yeah.
Let's take a listen right here. It's been a while since I've do that.
Do you know what I think? I think that whoever made the decision for Brian Harpole to sit down with Sean Ryan made a terrible mistake. big PR mistake, PR nightmare. That's kind of been the story here. One long bad PR decision after the next, because the issue is Brian said too much. The internet is meticulous. The internet is clocking them every sentence. It's really easy to catch people in inconsistencies and then to keep replaying what they said about certain things, especially when they don't add up. So I would like to gently remind you all back at home what Brian Harpole said about what typical preparations entail for Charlie Kirk events. Take a listen.
Let's move into the threat assessment and the pre-planning for the event.
Absolutely.
How many days prior were you guys there?
We generally, the permitting process and all that goes on behind the scenes. And then there's a questionnaires that are filled out that we used to, there was a lot of busy work. And then so, kind of like in the military, what you did, we create forms that, hey, let's get this information up front. Mm-hmm. And so that we have a duplication process so that we can confirm it. And so we started our first, before that one, the 24th of the month prior. And so, and that was with the hard conversations, meetings.
You started that on the 24th?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Of August.
And we
That's
do
2 weeks.
At
early.
least. No, well, it started before that with the intelligence gathering.
So when did it start?
And all that, but the hard conversations, the sharing of information, the conference calls.
And real quick, if you don't mind, pause it.
And we put that in a timeline.
Doesn't the way he moves and kind of looks away and all that stuff, like that looks like a liar.
He's moving around a lot, like kind of like what the governor of California does. He's using like a lot of hand movements. Yeah, like Gavin.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
on an app, so that this all goes up, and every guy that's on that job can see all the intel that comes in. It's a decentralized command model for the company, and so anybody can make command decisions for the betterment of the client or the team, and so everything goes on that app. And so when I get it, they get it. And when whoever's gathering that intel, it gets it. There's no hold, there's no power hold on it. And so that first information came in on the 24th, and then the information share starts where we're walking through, everything that you need for a detail.
Everything that you need for a detail. Obviously, elsewhere in the interview, he describes this conversation that he had with the chief of police. He's upset about the chief of police not covering the rooftops because he feels that his team was on it. So on it. You're coordinating with whole police departments. You're discussing drones. Drones were not allowed. And so they just had to let that go. Well, interestingly enough, I received a tip from someone that was directly involved with the planning of an event that Charlie Kirk was supposed to attend the following day, on September 11th, the day after his assassination. Charlie was slated to speak in Woodland Park, Colorado, at the Charis Bible College. Okay, so that's in Woodland Park, Colorado. He was slated to speak there. And according to this person, after Charlie got assassinated, there was a bit of a panicked meeting that took place, which was headed by the chief of police. They decided to transform this event into a vigil, and they were panicked because, believe it or not, they had absolutely no security plan in place. They thought, how odd. We don't have a security plan in place. Now we better consider this, and we need to make sure that we have police officer involvement. Why didn't Dan Flood and Brian Harpole and Turning Point USA's security have any coordination with the police departments up in Colorado? If this is what they normally do, and whatever the way he over describes that, and they get the plan, and everybody can access and start to begin to speak, and then we speak to the police. I mean, we do all this stuff. We just didn't think to do that for the event that he had the next day. No police officer.
I think that's probably a good way to leave it. But
well, real quick, Joe, why don't local police work with ICE in these Democrats? Because they don't want to, because they're told not to, or so in some way the relationship is not there because they don't want it to be there.
Yeah, but if you're listening to Harpole describe the process of setting up security, And Candace has been to these events one after the next because her and Charlie were friends. And so the way Candace has always described it is that these things are scheduled out sometimes years in advance, because basically it's like a semester out or even a year out when they're starting to plan all this stuff. And that's what her familiarity with that whole process was. So when Brian Harpole starts coming out and describing in a very foreign idea, and she even said it earlier on in the series where she's doing it, is that like nobody plans an event that quickly. Like it just doesn't happen. And so I don't know if you're trying to play devil's advocate here, but you would think that there would still be some degree of security planning for an event that took place the next day.
Yes, I would say it would be actually, for a quick event, it's more important to get local law enforcement on board than if you had a year to plan it. Then it's like, okay, we've had enough time to plan this. We don't need local law enforcement because we have gone over everything that much. We've had so much time to consider this. Where if you're doing a quick event, you want local security, you want local police to be involved because there's so many unknowns, so many variables that they would have accounted for that you just don't.
Yeah, I don't want to harp too much on the Charlie Kirk stuff because there's a lot there, and there is a lot there. But regardless of who is at fault specifically for the death of Charlie Kirk, what has been left in the wake? Basically, an organization torn apart, people pointing fingers at each other, and a movement pretty much in disarray. Am I wrong about that? Try that next clip because it's a little piece of the stuff that I was kind of touching on earlier. I probably should have played it before any of this other stuff.
There we go.
You Jews own the media then. Maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question. That maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says. I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of... And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
There you go. There's the clip.
There's the one part where Ben Shapiro and him are having a conversation. This is like shortly before they shoot him. But you could see it as Charlie Kirk starts to question certain things about Zionism and Israel and everything. Ben's face is contorting into this "you are not going there" kind of place.
Yeah,
and like in the orbit of Ben Shapiro and all these guys, like he's in the know.
Sure.
If Charlie Kirk is going to be assassinated, Ben Shapiro already knows about it. And I believe that to be the case. I think that meeting in the Hamptons that they had, if you haven't heard about that, I think all of this was leading up to Charlie Kirk being shot by those people because they knew the implications of him continuing to speak and push down that road and share ideas like this and question Israel, where he says that totally with his text messages, which Candace makes the claim, and then Josh Hammers and, the Babylon Bee guy and all these people say, no, we weren't pressuring him or da-da-da-da-da. And then she shows a group text that somebody sent her that has him saying, look, these Jewish people are leaning into the worst stereotypes, and I think I'm going to have to give up on the Israel project. And so all the people who lie, because that's the kind of thing, is like James O'Keefe used to do this. He'll put something out, and then everybody will say, that's not true. That's not what's happening. And then he has another video that comes out and says, well, here it is. It's happening.
Yeah.
Candace did the same thing. Charlie is moving away from supporting Israel and Zionism, and they're all like, no, she hated Candace, and he didn't ever said anything. And then she puts the texts out, and they're like, well, they are real, so, And it was just a long string of those perpetually happening throughout her whole investigation. I'd highly recommend it. if anything, just watch this last one because it gets into sex trafficking. It gets into all this stuff. And she's got that Macron stuff. Like the way that it's all kind of intertwined, it's the kind of thing that when you first become red-pilled, you're like, that can't be connected. Oh my God, it's totally connected. That can't be connected to that. That's connected too. Holy crap, and it just, it boggles the mind how complex this stuff can get. But when you think of it from, whoever they's perspective is, it makes nothing but sense. That's why you would want civil war. That's why you would want race division. That's why you would want all those things, because the last thing you need is people focusing where they're actually getting screwed from.
Yeah, and it seemed like the Charlie Kirk shooting could have kicked off a civil conflict, but it did not. But it could have. It certainly could have.
No, I think it awoke. It did. There's a civil conflict among the right, and it's a split between the Zionists and the America Firsters, and they're both claiming they're America First, but clearly one of them's not. Anyway, Metzger was on Rogan. This is the thing. As long as I was off the show, I still get messages on Instagram and stuff, or like apparently I'm the guy who hates Jews, which I don't, but like a lot of people are sending me this stuff, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it's interesting, but this one was funny because Metzger's funny.
Yeah,
but he was on with Rogan, and he's just got a certain way of putting things.
He's exploded recently, and
and good for him.
Yeah. Here we go. Here is Metzger on Rogan.
Like they're doing it like it's a job,
me,
right?
Me assuming someone either is blackmailed or MK Ultra is me being kind of positive, because really a lot of these people are just sacks of shit that are going for a bounty. So if you were MK Ultra, that's like kind of cooler than that, I think.
And you think some of them can just sort of justify that bounty? They, whatever country's paying it. Hey, they have their own rights.
It's specific like billionaires and shit.
Right. And it works both ways, I'm sure. A
Both
lot
ways
of
with what?
Anti-Israel stuff, people being paid a bounty, don't you think? Don't you think like there's certain people involved in that as well that are probably being paid? It's from all around, right?
That crime that got done in Gaza, and they're done now, so everybody could relax. They got it done, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's done. So watch Norman Finkelstein; he'll explain it to you. But so that crime that's done now, the reason that the frantic buying up of the media by Larry, the shadow president Larry Ellison, is because they lost the next generation of trauma-controlled fucking mind slaves, because on TikTok, these psychopaths bragged about crimes they did to people. And all the young Zoomies are on there, including in America, where we were force-fed woke bullshit by the oligarchs who are now suddenly horrified because they didn't think it would blow back, that their kids would absorb that crap. Guess who has not had woke programming for the last 12 years? Israel. So you can tell who's involved with the propaganda now, because they have no concept of the sensitivities of these gender blobs that were made in this country. So now they lost the next generation. So now they're frantically buying TikTok. They're putting Barry Weiss in charge of fucking... That's going to work out great. I'll bet she's already out based on the town hall alone that we covered. One of the worst things I've ever seen.
I didn't see it.
Well, you're lucky, but we covered it all.
I'm trying to stay out of most of this stuff, because every time I talk to you, I get dragged in, and I get paranoid and anxiety.
Oh, yeah, no, you could be killed. I mean, you saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. Oh, no, you easily could be killed, and, I don't know.
Does Jimmy worry about that?
Jimmy got his phone hacked with Pegasus that time.
Yeah.
He got, the Bohemian Grove thing is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Wow. Kurt Metzger's just going deep. Wow. Yeah, it's all real, people. It's all happening. It's
the one thing I think I've mentioned on the show where Rogan's always trying to get Metzger to pipe down about stuff. When he gets into certain things, he goes so deep that Rogan's like, all right, pause. Let's go back to talking about how mixed martial arts is the same as politics or something.
Yeah, Rogan's trying to walk that line. Like he wants to talk about it a little bit, but not that much anymore. Because
he doesn't want the heat.
He doesn't want the heat, and he doesn't want to be dead. He wants to have a nice life. And that's basically it at this point. He wants to have a nice life.
All right, I'll take my hands up if we want to take calls or pass over to the Cretchid.
Let's pass it over to Cretchid, and because I know
you want to take any calls?
Nah, we got 20 minutes left. I want to kick through some good stories. We'll take calls next week.
Let me do one last thing that I look at my tabs. This is a fun one because this gets into conspiracy history and the Jews.
Okay.
Right.
Whatever.
All right. Let's do it. And then we're going to get over to Gretchen. Okay. Here we go. Bring this up on screen.
This is like the real red pill. Hold on. Okay, so this guy, right? This fucking guy, Danny Vengermini, okay? I was reading about this, like he writes this book, okay, Them and Us, and he basically like theorizes in the book that Neanderthals, okay, or Neanderthals. You understand the conception up until now is that the Neanderthals, like, they mixed in with us, okay? This absolute psycho, okay, he argues for what's called the Neanderthal predation theory. Basically, the guy argues that the Neanderthals, we didn't peacefully exist with them, that they were predators. They chased after us, like they ate us. But hold on. The theory doesn't stop here, because wouldn't you know it, okay? Hold on. Okay, so we know that Neanderthals, right? They migrated, okay? One of the like main places they went to was right here. Now let's take a look. We know, okay, that they went right here. What's right there? Take a look. Take a look at the little, take a look right here. Now, we know from like history, okay, that there's been lots of claims that a certain group from that region had like rituals of eating people or like eating blood or whatever. And we know from the Bible that they came from elsewhere. The Israelites came from elsewhere, came into the region, and then immediately started beefing with all their neighbors around them. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this is the last red pill. This is the last red pill, bro. What if the Neanderthals never went away?
Wow.
Bro, that's the last pill.
Wow.
Bro, it's literally... No, this is like the real red...
That's it right
What
there.
do you think?
I like the idea. Since I don't have the book, I've never read it, but I like the idea. It's interesting. I wonder how much we can get into like the DNA of the Neanderthal versus people in the Middle East and Israel and all that kind of stuff. It's fascinating, but I don't know. There's just so much information I just don't know about this subject. It's hard to have an opinion. What is your opinion on this?
I just found it interesting, and all those Neanderthal pictures, you could see the nose.
Yeah, it was like I know they speculated.
They all look like Rabbi Shmuley.
They speculated that Ozzy Osbourne had a higher percentage of Neanderthal DNA in his genome. And they suspected that the reason why he was able to do so many drugs and not die, really put his body through a lot of hell, is because he had that Neanderthal DNA in there that combated all of his bad habits, his bad health, and people with Neanderthal DNA are a little bit more hardy. Their constitution is a little higher. I read one thing on that years ago, but I haven't seen any follow-up on that. But that's all I know about Neanderthals. And humans. That's all I know about anything.
All right, done for realsies.
Okay. Cratchit, are you ready? Is your time to shine?
Might as well. We're here.
I love the spirit.
Where am I?
I've never been here before.
I've never been here before.
I've never been here before.
Oh, good Lord. Let's see how much stuff we've got in here.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
Now for today's news.
Where can we start? Oh, since we're doing some, you mentioned Baba. Who's
Baba
Ganoush?
Baba Ganga. Baba
Yanga.
Baba.
Whatever. Here's some end of year kind of prediction stuff. So this one from our friendly folks over at CNN. They have a survey that was taken in 1998, and then they go back and look at it 27 years later to see how much of what happened, or how much was what predicted 27 years ago actually happened by the end of the year.
Oh, I like
or by the
this.
end of 2025, rather. So
I like this. This is good. Americans in 1998 trying to predict 2025. Here's what they got right.
Okay.
Let's see here. In the year 1998, Bill Clinton was facing impeachment proceedings. Titanic was cleaning up the Oscars, and most households still had a landline phone. Gallup and USA Today called up 1,055 Americans on those landlines and asked them for their best predictions about the year, best predictions about the year in the distant future, 2025. Oh, right. All right.
I bought it.
Those predictions are now memorialized via polling archives maintained by the Roper Center. Let's just get to this prediction here. Most people in 1998 correctly doubted that space travel would become common for ordinary Americans or that alien life forms would have made contact. Some were surprisingly persistent. Most Americans predicted that over the next 27 years, the country would have elected a black president, gay marriage would be legal and commonplace, and that a deadly new disease would have emerged. Other predictions didn't hold up as well. About 2/3 of Americans thought that the country would have elected a female president by now. That did not happen.
I think that's hilarious.
Other predictions, so about 2/3 of Americans thought the country would have predicted a female president by now. More than half expected a cure for cancer, and 61% of people expected that people will routinely live to be 100 years old. That's not happening, is it? I think we're kind of reducing our life expectancy.
Well, it's still in the, I think it's in the upper 70s overall.
Yeah.
But a lot of those numbers, keep in mind that's like a global number, I think. So it's some people, I think is it Japan that has like the average longest lifespan, which I think is pushing 90 now.
China.
It's China.
Let's see what. Let's see. Back in 1998, 51% believed that the United States would be involved in a full-scale war. What do you mean by full-scale? Because in that time, in '98, we've been in Desert Storm at that point. Was that considered, or Desert Shield?
I think Shield became Storm. Shield was the staging action.
Oh yes.
I think that's the sort of thing that, as opposed to like what happened in Venezuela, where like, oh, we're down there for a couple of weeks. A Vietnam level. Desert Storm slightly, though that kind of was a lot of build up for about 6 months and then cool down for a while. So Iraq and Afghanistan, I think, would qualify that to be a full scale, even though, of course, it was never a war, because we haven't been in a war since World War II.
They also, 56% of people said most stores will be replaced by shopping on the internet. And see here, and this is what Americans thought in 1988 was less likely to happen by 2025. 38% believe that cars will largely be replaced by mass transportation. Cloning of humans will be commonplace. They didn't think that'd be likely. Most people will be self-employed. Space travel will become common for ordinary Americans. And then the ranking down there at the very bottom, humans will have made or received contact with an alien life form. So they were not believing about that one back then. So some things don't change.
Spacemen.
Very interesting. They did get some stuff right back then. So it's so general, like that you probably can get most of this stuff right. I wonder if they're doing a poll like that right now for, 2040, 2050?
For another 25 years?
Yeah.
2050?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
By the way, average life expectancy, the longest is Hong Kong, just eking past Japan and South Korea. For women, 88 years.
China.
And for men, 83 years.
Hong Kong, that's the place you want to be.
China.
Yeah. So I guess I'll give you half credit for China, because Hong Kong being China is kind of different. But
it used to be a protectorate of the British Empire, but that got turned over, in 2001?
97.
So that was close.
United States numbers for women, 82, and for men, 77 years.
Huh.
But geez, Trump is way past that life expectancy. He's like 81 now.
Yeah, how old was Trump? I think so.
He's a He's old. Still has a great body. Okay, let's not forget about that.
He's old. I don't know what he is. He's
still
old.
got a rocking body. No doubt about that.
He's 79. He will be 80 on June 14, Flag Day, famously.
Tremendous chest pains.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll hear a lot about that. As you mentioned earlier, you've got the 250th anniversary of America coming up. So we'll have Trump proclaiming, because his birthday is Flag Day, and he brought that up a number of times, and people complain when he does parades because it's a parade for him, blah, 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 whatever. That's dropping the bucket what the military pisses away every year, so who cares? But I'm sure because it'll be his 80th birthday just before, the country's 250th, he will try to align those and make a big deal about his 80th and the country's 250th and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Our tests are the best tests. They're the most accurate tests.
Yeah. Everyone says they're the best tests.
Mom, I want a vape.
All right, Cratchit, let's see what else you got over there. Come on.
All right.
Really?
Well, let's stay with the theme of kind of end-of-year lists. We like lists of things.
We do.
This is our first show back after the new year. So here's some end-of-year, the top items. This has the 25. You could probably skim through it and find the ones that are a little more interesting. But another end-of-year list, the top of 2025.
All right. Well, this is the 25 worst items pulled from people's butts in 2025.
This is damn exciting stuff.
All right. This is fascinating. So here's some of the worst items found in people's butts. Okay. So the first one we have here is a shampoo bottle. Okay. Then we had a baseball, documented with explanation to see what it felt like.
Okay.
I just wanted, just curiosity, really. He did it for science. Then we had a corn cob holder. We had a turkey baster. I can see
what the hell's a corn cob holder? The spiky things?
That's ridiculous if you're doing that.
It must be something else.
That's crazy. You shouldn't be doing that.
I have to do it.
You shouldn't be doing that. Look at what a corn cob holder is.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Because the only thing I can think of are those little spiky fork things you put on the end.
Yeah, so you can twist the corn cob in butter. And then you have a wine stopper. You also have a plastic cleanser bottle filled with liquid. Oh, that's important. So it had to be filled with liquid. You had eyeglasses.
They left the cleanser in there because that way they make sure they're clean.
And then you have eyeglasses that someone stuck up there.
I can't see.
Well, you got them in the wrong spot.
I can't see, goddammit.
You have a rock, 2 pencils, a vape pen, a flashlight, a battery-powered light, a film canister. They still make film canisters? Maybe this guy stuck them all up his butt.
He's got them all.
Yeah. A rectangular travel toothbrush, a dog chew toy. Oh, my God. A dog chew toy? That can't be sanitary. That's not good. People, you should not be doing that. An uncooked pasta. Okay.
Actually, it would be more impressive if they got cooked pasta.
Yeah, shoving cooked pasta. I got to go to Olive Garden. Hold on a second. Then we have
the biggest bowl of linguine you got.
I want to try something tonight. This is to go.
You guys got a wood spoon back there?
An egg, a marble, a sandal, a doorknob.
Wait, a sandal?
Yeah.
Like a shoe?
Yeah. I knew I thought I brought my sandals on vacation, but I must have left them at home. Wait, hold on.
I can only find one. What the hell?
A doorknob, beard clippers wrapped in plastic, cited as constipation relief.
Yeah, right.
This doesn't relieve much.
A light bulb inserted glass side first.
Oh, good Lord.
Plastic coat hanger altered so the person could drive to the ER. What?
I think they mean that they had to then bend and break the coat hanger so they could drive a car to get to the hospital.
That is weird.
A corn cob style pipe. A thermos discovered during a police body scan. So there you go. Those are all things that were found in people's butts.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
I'm still confused about the corn cob holder.
Yeah, me too. I need clarification on that. There's no clarification on that one. Wish I could. Okay, it was a study from the American Journal of Emergency Medicine. So maybe we can dig deeper.
That's got to be a fantastic journal. Just like, check this out. Look what this guy did.
Yeah, this is something where they can just sit back, have a few drinks, and collect some articles, and then, it's a hit.
Save that for the December issue.
Yeah, that's a hit article. People are waiting for that one. All right, Chris, I think we have time for one more story. Here we go.
What's going on here? I want to make sure I credit. Who posted this? Well,
you don't know.
Didn't write it down. I'm a genius.
Tom Pappert.
It was not Tom Pappert. If you recall, several months, maybe a year ago or more, we talked about restrooms at stadiums and how they used to have the trough or the wall or all these, like, let's say communal urinals.
Yeah, it was more. Yeah,
long since been demoed out. They don't build these anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they still have them. Get the story into the carrot shop for you. They still have them at some older stadiums that are being demolished. And turns out that some of these have become collector's items, specifically for Buffalo Bills fans, as their last game was at Highmark, I think 3 weeks ago, something like that. And so people are bidding on these things because people will want, they want stands from or not stands, they want seats from the stands for, memorabilia. Well, now people are actually like, well, maybe we want bathroom troughs.
Maybe. Yeah, Sports Memorabilia Company partners with the County of Highmark Stadium for keepsakes. Okay. Let's see here. While Buffalo Bill fans said goodbye to the Highmark Stadium last Saturday, there's an opportunity to own a piece of the stadium forever. A stadium can accumulate a lot of stuff when it's been around for more than 50 years. Quote, there's definitely the troughs in the bathroom, said Brandon Steiner, founder of Collectible Exchange. There's some stuff of the suites that are interesting. Great photos, stuff maybe in the locker room that could be kind of quirky, one-offs, sort of thing. Okay, thank you, Brandon, for that. Collectible Exchange is a sports memorabilia company who partner with Erie County to remove and sell just about everything from the old stadium before it gets demolished. I knew it'd be fun taking the stadium apart because I know it'd be meaningful, said Steiner. Memorabilia is meaningful for memories. I always say they can call it memorabilia, but it's meaningful memories. And I felt like I'd go create some really cool products. Let's see here. So how much do you think we can get a urinal for? Like for a Buffalo Bills urinal, like an official one. It's not saying here. See, some items are already for sale on the Bills store. Let's check it out. How much for the urinal? You can get a seat, like a Buffalo Bills seat, for $550. That's crazy.
I like the idea of having a trough urinal.
I do too. What if you have a party? It comes really practical.
Put it outside by the fire.
If you have a party.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you have a party, you stand in line for a bathroom, you only have one toilet. It's like, no, go in there, use the trough. It's fine.
By the way, so credit to Vandam for posting this. I missed the name there. I've put up some images here of some people proposing some alternate uses for these troughs. So, Joe, you could get one of these. It doesn't necessarily have to be a restroom urinal.
That's right. You could, as displayed here, it could be a serving trays for like a buffet, or it
could be a herb garden.
It could be an herb garden, or put your beer in there and some ice. And I could see guys doing that though. Definitely. I can see that at a tailgate.
Yeah, but then somebody loses it and they piss all over your beer.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Let's do
My
it.
favorite, of course, is the taco bar, which I think is
the Taco Bell. It does look like it's very well organized in a urinal trough. It's like almost perfect. If we can only buy one. It doesn't even have to be a Bills. But
you just want anyone? I probably can find that.
And just be like on eBay. After going to Portugal, I gotta say the Portuguese toilets, top notch. Really good toilets over there. Yay! Pretty impressed.
How much is the trough again?
But they're not telling us
how do you
much
get to the sales page? I'm looking at it.
I'm on the Bills store. I don't think they put it up yet. They only put up 14 items so far.
Okay.
I'm looking for the urinal. Like everyone's waiting for the urinal.
That's the big seller.
That's the big one. Like if we knew how much one kind of went for, if like from a crappy, like how much is the Cleveland Browns urinal? You know, it's probably not that much. No one cares.
Like, I mean, looking at these troughs, it does look like it would make a good garden. Like,
yeah, it's not bad.
You know, I don't know. It's a good story.
It is. You know where that herb I grew came from?
Yeah, we get all our basil
as they're
and rosemary.
As they're halfway through their taco, you explain where you keep your taco bar.
Yeah.
The reason why you're detecting a hint of urine is because
yeah, the stuff they have up there is boring.
Yeah, no one wants that crap. This is all a bunch of crap.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
What is this shit?
Real quick before we go, when I was on my travels, I determined that I need a Nintendo 3DS XL. Do you have one of those, Joe? You have a 3DS?
What the hell is that? No.
It's a Nintendo mobile gaming unit. They don't make them anymore. Like a 3DS XL.
Oh, was that the red one? The monochrome with the red?
No, it had like the screen up top and on the bottom. It was called the DS before. The DS like dual screen, but they made one called a 3DS.
Oh yeah, I used to have one. Those were fun.
I know. I want to get one again. I saw my stepdaughter's boyfriend had one, and I was like, you know what? I missed when I had my Nintendo 2DS. They grew a lot of cool games on there. So if anybody has a 3DS XL that you want to sell, let me know. I'll give you a fair market price, but not a penny more. I'm sure we can come to some kind of agreement.
Hulk is going to outbid you on that.
I know shit. I can't compete with them. All right, you got anything else, Scratchy? Did you find out the price of a urinal?
I'm still looking on this collectible exchange, trying to find what it is. I don't think any of them have it listed.
Let's go. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. If you want to find out the price of urinals, join the Discord. Go to obdmpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com, and there are links to join the Patreon, join the Discord, get extra audio. For like a lot of the Patreon people, they had a wealth of back-posted OBDM shows, the early shows, to listen to while we were on vacation. So join there. A lot of extra audio content.
And thanks again, everybody, for helping to support me through some really challenging times. I can't thank you enough. So.
It was great to have you back, Joe. Great to have you back.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's always fun to have the old three here.
Figure it out again, like how to do this. I feel rusty.
Well, you can pop in, pop out whenever you want. You know the door is always open to you.
I also owe Scarlett a big ol' happy birthday. Love ya. Have a wonderful day. I hope it's not as cloudy and weird as it has been in San Antonio where you are.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, dear Sally. Sally.
Oh, we miss him.
Yeah, he was quite the old codger. And I wonder what Joe Biden would be doing right now. What is he doing right now? Is he giving speeches? Like a lot of like old ex-presidents give speeches. I don't think he's not making many public appearances.
Not a lot of that, but
No.
he should get a Buffalo Bills trough for the Joe Biden Library.
Yes, he should. Absolutely.
All urinals in the Joe Biden library are just a trough.
Nothing but troughs.
Or are you saying the entire library is just a trough?
Could be.
Well, instead of like library for, like shelves for books, you can use troughs. Go to trough 1A. You still use the Dewey Decimal System.
It's the same as the parking lot in Buffalo Bills
Yeah, you're
parking.
right. Go to B12. B12 is open. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday for another show. We're a little rusty. This is after a vacation. We're a little rusty. But now we're back in prime form. So
back in a big way.
Back in a big way. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Scratchy. Chabla goo, everyone.
Here's a
keep watching the skis. There's more football memorabilia on the way.
I'll tell you Look at this building right here.
That's about all. Shablagu. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Until next week. Nanu. Nanu.
Wonderful now.